Everybody, Angela Petrilli here for another brand new episode of the Riff Rundown with my friends at Fishman. So happy to be here today. Today's episode is going to be, it's pre-recorded for today, but don't worry, we're still gonna have a lot of fun. So have your electric guitar in standard tuning. We're gonna be going over the intro verse and pre-chorus of Belief by John Mayer, one of my favorite tracks from his Continuum album from 2006. Really fun song to play. So we're gonna be using our thumb today. We're gonna be using a pick. We're gonna do some bits of hybrid picking as well. So get ready for that because it's gonna be a lot of fun. So as always, folks, let me know where you are tuning in from and your favorite blues riff. So where you're tuning in from and your favorite blues riff. So here is Belief. This is a super fun one to play. It's a lot of fun, really cool dyads, double stops, all of that stuff. Lots of cool technique with the left as well as the right hand. So let's go ahead and get started here. So what we want to do, I'm going to break up the intro and the verse. They're exactly the same. So we're killing two birds with one stone there. So I'm going to break that up into 4 different sections when it comes to that intro. So the intro, I'm just going to play it by itself. I'm going to do it just a little slower. At the top I was playing it to speed, but this one I'll take it down a little bit so you can see what's going on, and then we'll break it down. Okay, so here we go again with that intro. Really fun series of chords, right? It's a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get started there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our thumb with this, okay? So if you guys are familiar with John Mayer's style of playing, he uses his thumb quite a bit. He's massively inspired by folks like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix. So you can see in his playing that he's taken these bits of their technique and has incorporated into his own really cool, unique style. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So with the thumb, whenever we use it, and again, we see it a lot in a lot of different songs, it allows us to grip chords in a different way. And it's a really cool technique to get, to get under your fingers, so to say. So what we're gonna do here is when you grab, we're gonna grab this D note that's going to be on the 10th fret of the E string. So we're gonna grab that with our thumb. We're not gonna use our first finger. John likes to grab it with his thumb on the 10th fret of the E string. So that's what we're gonna do too. Now, you don't wanna press the life out of the guitar neck. We don't wanna do this. You wanna give it just the right amount of pressure to get a really nice clear tone. Okay, so that D note, that's what we're looking for there. So when I play this, and once you really get into it, you can slide into that note like that. But as we're first learning this is what I'm gonna suggest. Just get your hands around this if this is something you're getting used to. Just go ahead and just play the D note as is with your thumb already there. So we're gonna hit that twice. So that's our first little dyad here, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide. Let's start with that 3rd finger sliding from the 10th fret of the A string, that's your G note, and sliding it up to A at the 12th. And then your first finger placing that on F, 10th fret of that G string. Okay, so if we do this nice and slowly, this is the first part of 4. It's gonna go like this. We're gonna hit those notes twice. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that again. And again, with this, at least for the intro here, we're going to be using the pick. And something I want to say is when I'm playing this song, I like to use the rounded edge of the pick versus the pointed edge. So that's just me. That's what feels comfortable when I play this. But If the pointed edge is a little bit more comfortable for you, totally cool. But it's something I do want to mention. I'm using the rounded edge for this. So, don't forget to alternate pick here too, folks. Okay, so let's do that again. Now, what we're gonna do here, first finger is gonna go back to the 9th fret of that G string, okay? So that note right there, we're going from the 10th to the 9th. All right, and then your second finger, go ahead and put that on the 10th fret of that A string. That's going to be G. Okay. So you're going to hit that G note first, and then that E note. Okay, let's go ahead and do that again nice and slowly here. And notice how we're getting the sustain of these notes. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. Let these notes ring a little bit. See what I mean there? Really lends a really, really beautiful space. Okay, so let these notes ring a little bit. Okay, the sustain is our friend here. So that's the first part. So now we're looking at the second part here. That anchor note is going to be G. It's going to be on the 3rd fret of the E string. Again, we're going to grab it with our thumb here, and we're going to hit it twice. Just like that, okay? Don't press too hard. And then the riff goes like this. So again, let's go ahead and try and play that. So hitting the G twice. I'm getting my 3rd finger, I'm sliding it from the 5th fret of that A string, from the D note all the way to F here on the 8th fret of that A string, okay? So it's gonna sound like this. Now, as this F note is ringing, okay, we wanna go ahead and put our second finger on the 7th fret of that G string. That note is D, okay? So let's do that again. Not the open B string. Let's do that again. And we're going to pluck those notes twice. Don't forget to alternate pick again. One more time. Now from here, what we're going to do, bring that 3rd finger, slide it back to E, 7th fret of that A string. First finger, place it now on the 5th fret of the G string. That note is going to be C, okay? Pluck the A string first, and then go ahead and pluck that G string using the pick, okay? So let's go ahead and play that whole riff here. Let's do that again. Notice how I'm letting those notes sustain. Let's combine parts 1 and 2. We're going to go nice and slow. Here we go. Again. Halfway done with the intro and the verses. Pretty cool, right? Not too bad, not too bad. So let's go ahead and look at part 3. This note that's going to be anchoring this riff is going to be the note of C located on the 3rd fret of the A string. We're going to use our second finger and we're going to play this twice. So the whole riff is going to sound like this. Okay, so let's break that down again. Second finger, 3rd fret of that A string is C, hit it twice. Now get your 3rd finger, okay, your 2nd and 3rd finger, they're gonna switch spots for just a moment. We're gonna get that 3rd finger starting at C and we're gonna slide it up to D, 5th fret. Okay, as that note is ringing, go ahead and put your 1st finger on the 3rd fret of that G string. That note is B flat. We're gonna play play those two twice, okay? So again, nice and slowly here. Let's go ahead and do that again. And don't forget to alternate pick, okay? So now we're gonna do here, first finger, we're gonna slide it back, a half step to A, second fret of that G string, second finger reaches up to the third fret of the A string, that note is C. So start with the A string, and then pluck second fret of the G string, or a note of A, all right? So let's go ahead and look at the entire third riff. Just like that. Now we're going to combine all three parts. So here we go, starting at D. We're going to go ahead and do this a little slower here. Now let's play it just a little bit faster. Here you go. Here's the three parts. And again, notice too, the more that you get comfortable with this, right? Notice how I was incorporating some of those slides. And then getting to the next riff. So I'm getting those slide offs. I'm doing that from the first finger that's on that G string, is where I'm doing those slide offs. Just like that, a really quick little thing, but get your hands around the notes first, and then you can start embellishing with all those cool little in-between little magical stuff, okay? So let's go ahead and look at the final riff here of the intro. It's gonna look and sound like this. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, we're going back to that D note, thumb on the 10th fret of the E string, hit it twice. Getting that third finger, sliding it from G at the 10th fret all the way up to A. First finger is going to go ahead and go on F, 10th fret of the G string. Plucking each of those notes 2 times. Now what we're going to do here, our third finger is on A, right? We're going to slide it up to B flat. Getting that second finger to play G, 12th fret of that G string, okay? So nice and slowly, here it is. And again, sustain. You want to add a little bit of vibrato, do that too. It's pretty cool stuff. So. Just like that, okay? Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So let's go ahead and go over this whole intro nice and slowly here, and then I will increase the speed, and then we're going to go ahead and look at the second half. So this is the pre-chorus. All right, so here we go. A little bit faster. Super fun, right? Really, really cool thing to do. And again, those of you who are enjoying these lessons, be sure to subscribe to the channel, Angela Petrilli Music, and to see all the cool stuff that Fishman's up to, and including the Fluence pickups, which I am using here today, which I totally love. They're awesome. You can go ahead and click the link. I'll leave it in the video description so you can check that out. But yeah, these are the Strat style Fluence pickups here by Fishman. So as far as settings go, because I know a lot of you guys ask, I have it, as far as the pickup configuration, I have it set to 2, so the second one, which are these two guys, and then my volume's at like 5.5 here for this, and then my tone, what I have is voicing 2. So this is that hot Texas sound. I really like that. So that would be when you engage it and you would just lift up. It's a pull-push kind of thing, which is really cool. So as far as the tone that I'm using today, that's what it is. And I am going straight into my Blues Junior. There is no delay, there is no overdrive, nothing. It is straight amp and guitar. And again, if you want to learn more about these, just go ahead and click the link in the video description. So just wanted to briefly mention these pickups because they're just so cool. So that is the intro, that is the verse. So we already covered those 4 parts, done. You got them under your fingers. So now we're gonna go ahead and look at the pre-chorus here. So the pre-chorus is gonna look like this, and we're gonna be using our thumb again. So I'll do this a little bit slower than I did at the top of the lesson. So it's gonna look like this. Okay, again, super tasty, super melodic, such a fun part to play. So let's go ahead, we're gonna break this one down into 4 parts as well. So let's go ahead and look at part 1 here. Okay, so again, you can really hear that Hendrix, that Stevie Ray influence in this tune. I think it is just so much fun. When it comes to this part, this is the part where I like to hybrid pick it. So again, thumb on the 3rd fret, say that 10 times fast, thumb on the 3rd fret of the E string, that note is G, hit that twice. Now, I do a very dramatic sort of slide. If you don't want to do that, get your hands used to this first. Just slide up a whole step with that 2nd finger. So what do I mean by that? 2nd finger, slide it from the 10th fret of that D string, so that note is going to be C. Slide it up to D on that 12th fret of the D string. Okay, so then what we're going to do here, the 1st finger, go ahead and place it on F sharp. It's going to be on the 11th fret, or I'm sorry, B flat. That's going to be on the 11th fret of the B string. So again, here we've got our 2nd finger on D and then our 1st finger on the F sharp 11th fret of the B string, okay? Now, what do I mean by hybrid picking here? I'm getting my pick, and that is playing the D note, and I am striking upwards with my 2nd finger on all notes that are going to be on that B string. So that's going to go through all of this entire riff part section of the pre-chorus. So have a look at my hands here. That's how I'm doing it. Okay, so that 2nd finger is striking upwards on that B string. So let's do that again. So now what's happening here, I'm getting my 2nd finger, placing that on the 10th fret of that D string. That's going to be C, and then I've got my 3rd finger here on this note here, 10th fret of the B string, that is A. Okay, so here's that whole riff. And as a nice level 2, folks, give this a little bit of vibrato. So just shake those notes out just a little bit. It's good stuff. I encourage you to do it, okay? Now our anchor note here, this is part 2 of that pre-chorus. Go to C, 1st finger, 3rd fret out of that A string. Slide back to the 10th fret of the D string and B string respectively with that 2nd and 3rd finger. Bring that back a whole step, 8th fret of that D string and B string respectively. So the notes that you're hitting here are going to be B flat all right? And that 8th fret of the B string, it's gonna be G, okay? So just like that. So here we go. And again, notice a little bit of vibrato I'm using. So let's go ahead and combine both parts, parts 1 and part 2 of that pre-chorus. Here we go. A little faster. And then give it a good slide out after you're done playing it too. It adds a really cool dimension. Something to think about. Again, I plant the seeds with these lessons, folks. I want you to have fun with this. So that's part 1 and part 2. So we're halfway done with this. So now we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and look at the final half. Our anchor note for part 3 of this pre-chorus is going to be F. That's our anchor note. And here's the entire riff. Very happy in major. It's very nice. So let's go ahead and talk about how we do it. Thumb, reach over, 1st fret of the E string. There is your F, because E and F are a half step apart. So there's F. Okay, so hit that 2 times here. Sliding back to the 8th fret of the D string and that B string. Again, give me a little vibrato. Get your 2nd finger now. What I want you to do here, so that's the 6th fret of that D string, okay? Slide it up to A, 7th fret of that D string. 1st finger plays F, 6th fret of that B string, okay? So here we go again. Now again, I did a pretty aggressive slide. Once you get more comfortable with it, so I slid starting from the 2nd fret of that D string all the way to the 8th fret of that D string. Work up to this. As you're just starting to learn this riff, if you want to just jump right to it, totally cool. But again, you know, I like to give you guys extra levels of stuff. As a level 2, slide into it. Super, super fun stuff, okay? So that's the riff. Let's go ahead and go through it just one more time here. Don't forget the vibrato. Don't forget the hybrid picking here, okay? So again, let's do parts 1, part 2, and part 3, nice and slowly here. Here we go. Gave you an extra C in there, why not? Let's do that again. Let's give it a little more speed. Right? Pretty cool, isn't it? So let's go ahead and look at the final riff of this pre-chorus. It's going to look and sound like this. Again, it's anchored by B flat, which is going to be located on the 1st fret of that A string. Pretty cool, right? Let's do that again. So really cool things are happening here. First off, we're not going to be using our thumb to play that B flat. We're going to go ahead and use our 1st finger. So B flat, 1st fret of that A string, hit it twice. Again, Sliding here now to the 7th fret of that D string and 6th fret of that B string, right? We have F here on the 6th fret of the B string, and then we have A here on the 7th fret of that D string. Hit those twice, starting with the D string. Now what we're gonna do here, you're gonna go ahead and get your 2nd finger, placing that on the 5th fret of that D string. Okay, that note is gonna be G, and then your 3rd finger is gonna be located on E, 5th fret of the B string. Hit both of those notes once. Hit them together. So again, grab it with your pick. Pick is gonna play the D string, upwards motion on that 2nd finger, plucking upwards. Don't pull too hard. Okay, we want it to feel just a little bit springy, like that. Play them together, beautiful harmony. And bring that whole shape back a whole step. So your 3rd finger should be on the 3rd fret of the B string, that note will be D, and then your 2nd finger placing that on the 3rd fret of the D string, so that note will be F, okay? It's good stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and do that riff a couple times here. Or B flat, rather. Now notice with that slide there how I only played those notes on the 5th fret and slid it back without plucking them. I'll do that again. We want to give them enough power, right? Enough gas to when we slide so that we could still hear those notes. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that again. And again, I'm moving my arm out of the way so you can see I'm not strumming. So let's do that again. Pretty cool, right? This is, again, a super, super fun song to play. There are other parts. There is a chorus and there is a wicked awesome solo. Don't worry, I'm gonna be doing a lesson on those too. But really wanted to break this down and give it its due time and give you guys enough time to really sit with this and work out these parts. So having said that, let's go over the 2 parts again, the intro verse and this pre-chorus. We're gonna go over it slow and we're gonna go over it just a little bit faster. And folks, we are done for the day. So this is Belief by John Mayer. Again, one of my favorite tunes from his album Continuum. If you're not familiar with this album, it is just absolutely, I think it's a stellar, stellar piece of work. And I know it was one of those albums for me that really inspired me to up my playing and practice a lot more. So it's a really great album. So here we go from the top, verse, intro, right? And then we're gonna go into this pre-chorus. So here we go. I'll do it slow and then I'll do it a little bit faster. So here we go. Now, our pre-chorus. Pretty neat, right? Super, super fun stuff. Again, these videos are on YouTube, so you can go and rewind a certain part that you missed during the live stream, go back and check it out. Get it under your fingers. This is a really, really fun one to play. I encourage you to listen to the original that's on Continuum. Also, the live in Los Angeles concert is really, really cool too, as well as he did this on the Crossroads Eric Clapton concert, so you can go ahead and watch it there too. Again, and see how he plays with the time. The song is all about groove, so really, really listen to that when you are getting this under your fingers. This one is a ton of fun. So again, my name is Angela Petrilli. So happy to have you guys here for the riff rundown. I will be back next Saturday, 12 p.m. Pacific. Take good care, everybody.